Welcome back to day 3 of the Freelance Paralegal 101 mini series. Jacqueline Foster here. If you are joining me, comment hello, where you're joining from. Love to see different states and countries even of people joining this series. So it's been really, really exciting to see new faces and familiar faces. Happy to see you guys. If you're joining, say hello. Let's get the comments started. Now, today we're going to talk for day 3 of our mini-series. We're going to talk about finding your North Star client, and we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup. I know, it's like, what does the Stanley Cup have to do with freelance paralegal businesses? What possibly could that Stanley have anything to do with being a service-based business? And hey, Mary, nice to see you again from Baltimore. So it starts with a little story I'd like to share about the Stanley Cup. But during this webinar, this mini webinar, we're going to talk about the concept of your ideal client persona and then crafting a service offering that aligns perfectly with your client needs. We're going to talk about this problem out there, this marketing, you're reaching out, marketing some more, and nothing, crickets. Or you are getting responses from your marketing, but the clients don't want to pay your prices, or they don't want to pay the invoices that you send out after you've performed amazing work, or they're ghosting you, or they won't get onboarded with you even though they said they were ready to go. And it's frustrating. Hi, Corinne. Hi from Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, I can't see my Facebook users' names. Unfortunately, it's a real bummer on StreamYard. Hi, Christy. Good to see you again. Good to see you again, Corinne. Yay, familiar faces. Welcome, welcome. So there's this big problem, right? Mark, you're doing all this stuff, and maybe you've tried and failed to put out a freelance paralegal business multiple times, and it's just you're not getting the results you want, and you feel that this is just a pipe dream that just isn't, it's too saturated, or I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not marketing correctly, or I don't know what is going wrong, right? And we have this problem, but we fail to recognize the very, very key component to solving it. And through that, I want to talk about the Stanley Cup. By the way, I don't own a Stanley Cup. This is a non-branded, although I'm not against owning a Stanley Cup, I just don't own a Stanley Cup. But I want to talk about the Stanley Cup. If anybody owns a Stanley Cup, let me know if it's worth the money. My dogs keep breaking mine. They knock them over and then they break. Is the Stanley Cup more durable? I would love to hear it. All right, let me read a little story about the Stanley Cup, because the Stanley Cup is teaching us a multi-million-dollar lesson. Sometimes you don't need a new product, you don't need a new service, you just need a new audience. Stanley, some people may know this, some people may not. Stanley is a 110-year-old company. It's a very old company. In 2019, 110 years, right, guys? Like, this is a long time. So 110 years prior to 2024, it wasn't until 2019 that they hit $73 million in product sales. Their whole trajectory of their business, their primary target audience were working men who needed to stay hydrated on the job sites while hiking, etc. Anything men, are going out and doing physically. That was their ideal client. That was their ideal customer. In late 2019, 2020, a popular blog for women posted about this cup, and her audience of women went absolutely crazy over it, which caused it to go viral several times. And instead of brushing off this sudden surge in sales from this new and unexpected audience, like many brands do, they're like, oh, well, that was a fluke. Or many of us do, even if we get a surge of 50 people liked our post and we're like, that must have just been a fluke. What, there wasn't anything crazy about that post. So instead of blowing this off and just counting it as like a random, that'll never happen again, Stanley's new global president, who has a strong marketing background, decided they needed to make a huge shift and go all in on a women audience. So they launched new brand colors that were more pastels and colorful. They look like this instead of like manly and rigid. They opposite of what they had done for the last century and beyond. They did collabs with influencers and other popular brands like Starbucks. They created wait lists of thousands of women tapped into influencers around this new brand, and they created and they sold out every new launch. Every new launch of a new cup or what have you, they sold out. This year in 2023, they have hit, last year in 2023, they hit the $750 million in sale mark. Sometimes the message of this story is sometimes you can have a winning product in your back pocket, just sitting there, but you're not in front of the right audience. And that's the only shift that you need to make, is getting in front of the right audience. And obviously Stanley made a little tweak for that new audience, right? Brilliant marketing. Stanley made a little tweak in their appearance of the product, changed the color. Woo, the cup's still the same, right? It still serves the same primary function. It keeps your water cold. I think it's durable. That's what I'm asking anybody in here. If you have a Stanley, if you think it's more durable than my $25 one that my dogs keep breaking. They made tiny little tweaks to the product to make it a little bit more appealing to this new target audience, and boom, they went from taking 110 years to make $73 million to, by 2023, hitting the $750 million in sales. What a story to segue into finding your North Star client. And I want to just take a brief moment to explain what I mean by North Star client. Ideal client, target audience, all those words are synonymous to North Star client. I like using the term North Star client because I find it helps once you get into marketing to have that visual of your North Star and where you're looking. In the general direction you were looking as you are creating your marketing and all of those things. Thanks, Chris. I'm glad that was a great message. So let's go back to that problem. Let's now relate this. What the heck does Stanley have to do with freelancing and being a freelance paralegal? Marketing, reaching out, marketing, and nothing. Crickets. Or you get clients, they don't want to pay the price, they don't want to pay the invoices, they ghost you, they won't get onboarded with you, what have you. You feel defeated. You're like, obviously I'm not cut out for this. Let me go back to my 9-to-5. Let me abandon my highest version of myself that is calling out to me to build this business, to build my most authentic life, to gain personal freedom, to reach financial successes I never once thought possible. Let me just abandon it because my marketing's not working. Your marketing will work, right? But you're not either your message isn't correct for your North Star client, or you don't have a North Star client at all and you're throwing spaghetti at a wall. That's why when I do my course, every single module within the course will refer back to that North Star client, because it's a roadmap, right? I built this roadmap out to design it around your North Star client and make sure it's all aligning with that star, right? We want those stars to align with the North Star. The service offering should be on point. The pricing should be on point to that North Star client. The brand that you're building, right? Stanley could not have probably blown up like they did if they kept it that, hard looking type manly cup. They had to get the pastels and the aesthetics and all the things that TikTok tells us we need in our lives to be successful women. Side joke there. Your branding, how you're positioning your authority, your expertise, what problem you're serving, what new feeling are you giving your target audience, right? Stanley attracting the women is giving this, I feel like Stanley is trying to push this idea that you're put together, you're bougie, you're one of the it girls, you're one of those things, you have your life together with a Stanley, okay? And all of those things, even though I have my North Star client in my roadmap course at the top, it's at the very, very top. My North Star client is at the very top of that course after we figured out what business model we want to go down, because I feel the business model is a very personal question and it has to be based on what you want for your life. But once we get into the North Star client, we're going down the list and we're always relating it back to what makes most sense for them. So then we get out there with that North Star client in mind, and we go to sit down to do our content marketing, to write our blogs, to create our videos, to create our free services, our PDFs, or what have you, our lead magnets, if you will. And while we create these things in our subconscious, in our conscious, in front of us on a piece of paper, if we look up into the sky, we see our North Star client and we know we're talking to them. Now, your North Star client is going to come to you in a lot of different ways, right? So similar to the Stanley Cup, I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't influenced into considering buying one. I don't exercise. I hate exercise, to be completely honest with you. I drink a pot of coffee a day and I eat a stick of cheese kind of throughout the day. That's just for no other reason other than that's just who I am, inherently am. Like I can't change it about myself as much as I try. I am attracted to the Stanley, but so is the woman out there going to Pilates every day, wearing the Lululemon yoga pants. They're even though their ideal client might be this person, you're attracting an array of different people into your space that have some sort of relation with your messaging, with your positioning, with your problems you're solving, or with the new person you are creating as a result. And so as we get closer, this is kind of sounds backwards, as we get closer to our North Star client and pick them apart, based on their unique individuality in the multitudes of their life, right? Not just professional, but beyond that. And we start peeling that onion. We are then able to reach a broader audience. I know that sounds counterintuitive and it sounds backwards to say that the more narrow you get with your North Star client, the broader of your audience or broader of your client pool that you will be attracting. If you go way too broad on your ideal client, on your North Star client, on your target audience, you're shrinking your reach. You're trying to serve everybody so much that you're reaching nobody. You're not catching the attention of anybody, okay? For instance, like I am not on, I hope this is a good example. It might be not at all, but I'm going to give it a shot here. Even though I don't exercise, I despise physical activity that way. I like to exercise in the forms of like building horse fences and doing firewood, stacking firewood, and like productive exercise is my jam. But even though I don't do those things, if Stanley was trying to reach like just me, who they've influenced by saying like, hey, you're not an exerciser, you don't care about your personal health, they're not going to reach like anybody, because nobody wants to be that. Like nobody wants to be that, right? We all want to be the healthiest version of ourselves all the time, the most motivated, healthiest, inspired people that we can possibly be. They're not going to reach that if they just go broad and they say, I'm going to try to reach everybody. I don't want to exclude Jacqueline because she doesn't do yoga, although I do like yoga. I just can't commit to it. I don't want to exclude Jacqueline because she doesn't like yoga. So let's start talking to all the people that don't like exercise. And let's start talking to all the people over here that do like exercise. And then let's talk to the people that like to stack firewood. And then let's start making videos of the soccer mom that doesn't have time to exercise but still wants to feel like she does because she has a Stanley Cup or whatever that may be. I'm not in the minds of the Stanley. I don't know exactly who their ideal client is, to be completely honest with you, because they've influenced everybody with their magic. But if we start doing that, we are not speaking to one individual person. We're getting too broad and saying like we're trying to serve everybody and nobody is listening as a result. But if we focus in on our North Star client, the exact problem, like let's refer this now to freelancing as paralegal. We're focusing on the one client, okay? We are stepping into their shoes, writing out the narrative of their life and understanding who they are so intimately that we can start creating content that other people, even though they don't live that exact day-to-day life, or they don't have those unique circumstances surrounding them or those unique preferences surrounding them, they're still relating to your content on some level. And in doing so, you're drawing them in to learn more, to read, to sign up for your freebie, to get into your space, to keep hearing from you. You sound like the expert that they've been waiting for, right? So as freelance paralegals, if your marketing is not working, if you're getting people into your space that are saying, I don't want to pay that, that's way too high. Or, yeah, could you just do it flat fee? I don't want to do your hourly rate. I want to, true story, because that happened to me. My very first client pushed me into a flat fee that I screwed myself on. They're trying to push you into what their version of who they need you to be for them, because you didn't attract them to you. You attracted them to like a multitude of yous that can serve everybody, right? They want you to now conform to who they need. You're no longer the person they need. They need you to conform into that person. So what we really, really want to do is ideal. Create that ideal North Star client. Peel back the onion. Now, I have an entire over an hour webinar specifically on peeling back that onion and identifying who that person is and understanding them on such an intimate level. Different levels of who they are. You know, we all have different components. We have our professional side, we have our personal side, we have our emotional side. We have so many other levels out there that compile who we are as human beings. Peeling that apart, creating this fictitious person, right? So that once we get into our content marketing, which is my favorite form of marketing, I think it's the most effective, especially in building authority and expertise. And that's why I focus specifically on network and authority building, content marketing within this Freelance Paralegal Roadmap course. It's going to be what's going to ignite your business. Then we get into the others. Mary, that webinar is in the Freelance Paralegal Roadmap. In the course. So the webinar is not published out there. It's in the roadmap. I'm just for reference telling you that's why in that course, this is what we need to do. We need to totally peel back that onion and identify who this person is. Because then as we, like I said, I constantly throughout my roadmap, go back to that North Star client and say, okay, now that we know, okay, we're in our services. Is it aligning with the North Star client? Either your services might need to change or your North Star client might need to change. Prices, same thing. Are they all aligning? Are they all coming back up to that North Star client? Systems and softwares even. Is it aligning with what's going to work best for your ideal client? All the way down into the marketing and to putting yourself out there into the universe, into the digital space that is our world, right? Putting yourself out there and trying to attract in what it is that you have and put your intention forth to attract into your space, into your business. The best businesses are aligned that way. That's how they continue to it's like you're a moth to a flame. They just can't help but be drawn into your space because you've built the business to align you with that North Star client and you guys are a match. It's exactly what needed to happen. It is exactly what needed to happen for you to continue to grow your business, but it's exactly what needed to happen for that North Star client to be the hero in their own story, to be elevated and developed so that they can build their own version of authenticity and authentic life and riches and success, right? That's what we're all here to do, is connect perfectly in alignment. But if we're just trying to connect to people as a general, doesn't matter who, connect to people, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I love meeting people of all walks of life. Not in my that's in my personal space, right? But in my professional space, I'm very intentional about who I want to be connecting with. I'm very intentional about who I want in my space. It drives success on both ends when the people are lining up that need to line up. So dig deeper, get into that North Star client, peel back the onion, spend the time understanding who that North Star client is. If you need help in this, I highly recommend you sign up for this Freelance Paralegal Roadmap. I will help you peel back the onion. I have a workbook with the webinar on specifically designing your North Star client, telling you which different factors to consider, creating the narrative of your North Star client's day in a life, right? So that once we move forward within that roadmap into the content marketing, it's all going to come together in this easy, seamless, perfect way. The Freelance Paralegal Roadmap is available for pre-purchase discounts until I'm extending it to Sunday. It says Friday here. I should change that. I had a couple people reach out to me last night and ask if I could extend it till Sunday for whatever reason. I had about 3 people ask me to do that, so fine. I'll just give you guys through the weekend. It is officially launching on January 15th, so you'll have access to the full course January 15th, but on January 15th, it is going to be at full price. So it's going to, the 20% discount will no longer be there. There is a payment option available that is also discounted right now for that monthly installment to jump in. So if you're going to join, I highly recommend getting it while it's on pre-purchase. Why not? Take advantage of that discount. If you need help with these components of everything I'm really truly talking about in this week. Great message from Chris. Rethinking the marketing and audience of an established product or service you already have in the arsenal. Yes, commenting for each. Thanks, Chris. Thank you so very much for that feedback. And that's exactly it. It's like you are the perfect product. You are the perfect service. Are you connecting that with the right audience? Are you connecting that with the right ideal client? Revisit that. Make sure it's connecting. And actually, starting to run out of time here, but in that North Star client webinar within the roadmap, I also talk about you. Like, how are you going to complement the North Star client you're creating perfectly? Are you going to be the yin to the yang, right? Because that's exactly it. Just like Stanley had to just adjust things a little bit, right? I shouldn't be acting like I have a Stanley, but pastel colors, pinks, and now there's this huge hype over like the Valentine's Day theory. I don't know what's going on there. The Valentine's Day series, limited series with the pink and the red, right? They had to change it a little bit. Thank you so much for letting me know that this has been a good, excellent session. Thank you, Stanley. Shout out to Stanley for giving us a great example, a phenomenal real life example of how important that ideal client is. You hear it all the time. Business professionals, consultants are constantly shouting that at the top of their lungs. Say like, you have to create this ideal client if you want your business to succeed. But Stanley has created such an incredible example of how true that is. I can give you examples in my own business. When I just started my business and started throwing spaghetti at a wall, I didn't have an ideal client in place. I just wanted to connect to anybody and everybody that was willing to trade me money for my services. I didn't care who it was. That's what I wanted. I wanted a change in my life. I knew I was being called to something. I could feel it in my core. And I just wanted to start throwing spaghetti at the wall. And I attracted a lot of really wrong clients into my space. I attracted people into my space that almost made me give up. I attracted people into my space that pushed me away from what I was trying to build and said, no, become what I need you to become. You know, I'm not your employee. You're not allowed to do that. I have a business, right? And if I am not who you need me to be, then we need to readjust and decide if this is a good fit. That's the beauty in business, is that you're building a arsenal or an aura around you that is only attracting in what you should be working with, who you should be working with, who you best shine with. And without knowing and getting connected to that ideal client, how do you possibly know who should be coming into your space, right? Last reminder here, as I'm waiting to see if any more questions come through, the roadmap is going to be discounted through the weekend. So make sure you are jumping in to get that pre-purchase. I want you to get the best price you can at $207. The roadmap you are getting, the absolute drawn out. I'll just show you the real quick. I can screen share for you the entire course and the things you are going to receive as a result of taking this course. The goal is to create, start, build, and get ready to scale your freelance paralegal business so you can find new financial success and personal freedom. Again, it's open for early bird pricing. Sign up below. You can either take the one-time payment of $207 or the payment plan. I think it lands in like the $53, $54 range and some odd change. Courses begin right away on Monday. You will have access to the whole curriculum as of Monday, January 15th. And then for a week, it will be still available for purchase, but it will be full price. And then it'll close the following Sunday or something. I think it's like the 21st. So if you want to be freelancing in 2024, you want to set your own schedule, you want to command your own rate, you are being called to a life of financial security and balance. You want to live a soft life as well. You want that balance of being there for your kids and being there for your family, being there for your friends, being there for your personal life, the things that bring you joy, but you also want to make great money in the process. I promise you, you are not tapping into the biggest potential to have that as a paralegal, which is freelancing and having your own business. If you lack business knowledge, if you have a limited networking and client acquisition approach, if you have concerns about this financial stability, you have no idea where to even start, and most of you that I end up coaching don't even have a belief system that success is possible for you. It's the fear. That's why I put personal development within this course. At the end of this course, you're going to have an established business ready to take on clients. You're going to be clear on your short and long-term goals that will scale within that chosen business model. I'm all about building businesses that scale, not just building a business. Anybody can do that. Start an LLC, start taking on clients, see how it goes. I am helping you build a business that will scale so we can fold time in half and get you to your goals, get you to your authentic life quicker. You will have that amazing North Star client established to target and serve. You will have a 4 pyramid services offering. You will diversify your services in such a way that you can meet that North Star client exactly where they're at in their journey, whether it's they're in the beginning phase of their journey, somewhere in the middle or beyond, which is going to result in long-term client engagement and a ton of money as a result. The longer you can keep a client going through your services funnel, you have those 4 services and you keep them going, the more money you're going to make on that client. You'll have a perfect price point that sells and fulfills your financial dreams as we look at scaling the business within that price point. We'll have this complete puzzle of your perfect software setup to manage the business both now while we're trying to keep overhead very low, as well as in the future as you start to scale and you want to scale from the path of least resistance. We'll have this memorable, unique business brand to demonstrate your authority and expertise within your industry. We'll have a professional website to showcase the incredible business that you've built and start attracting clients to it, your ideal clients to it. We'll have an optimized LinkedIn account. We have a 30-day LinkedIn challenge within it filled with the right people that will help you grow your business, not just potential clients, but referral partners, strategic alliances, collaborators, those types of things that will help you grow your business. We'll have a perfect sales call readiness because I want you to convert your qualified leads into paying clients. I don't want you to have a ton of sales calls and have them flop. I'm going to teach you how to have a great sales call with my 98% conversion rate plan. That is my conversion rate for my sales calls to signing clients, which is very, very high. Not to boast, but it is. It's very high. And then finally, we're going to have a content marketing plan, 365 days of writing prompts, a whole schedule of different types of ways you can angle those prompts to come from authoritative, from storytelling, the power of storytelling so that you can stay consistent, but also diversified, where it's not like just repeating things over and over again, and build an authority, because I'm also trying to help you guys become authorities within your space, experts within your space. We want you to be the go-to so that you can absolutely scale this business to extremes. And just a reminder, I had a webinar before, but I want to remind anybody here who might be joining for the first time, I scaled my business to a $500,000 a year within 3 years of opening up my business. In 2022, at the end of 2022, wow, I skipped a year in my head. At the end of 2022, we had a $500,000 a year. It can happen a lot quicker for you. This roadmap is designed to fold time in half for you, right? I hit 6 figures in the first year. That is totally possible. I did not have this huge agency to do that, right? It is possible. Here's the curriculum. Here are all the things you are getting to achieve these results. Go check out the links that Shelby has graciously shared for me. Thank you, Shelby. And come in and pick your early bird pricing option, 20% off or 15% off. If you need payments, that's fine. You can pay the full price. Courses will begin right away on January 15th. You'll have access to a private Facebook group to ask me questions, to have me, early bird discounts on January 8th. I got to align that. To be able to collaborate with one another, everybody that's on the same journey. You are going to be very well supported within those groups. You have templates, you have everything you need, service agreements, client welcome packet, services, PDFs, things that you can create as marketing materials for your clients. You are well equipped with an entire course to build a scalable business. Not just build a business, a scalable business. Okay? Because as a person that loves to coach and teach, I have more courses coming. As you get this business established, now let's take it further and further and further when you're ready. Also, we have our Paralegal Entrepreneur Yearly Planner. If anybody has purchased the planner and is so compelled, please go and leave a rating on Amazon. I fully appreciate it. I am so very grateful that you guys got me on the two number one new release categories on Amazon. So I really appreciate that too. Thank you guys so very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your day, evening, and morning tomorrow. Have a great day, guys.